Welcome back to the land of the Seven Suns with Fishy Plantman as your host. Okay, this one's basically just a fish video. It's kind of hard to keep all the plants out of it. Got the, I forgot what color that Phalaenopsis is. And lucky bamboo, and you'll see other plants, the spider plant over there. But this is basically a fish video, and it's gonna be about how I've got my breeding system set up this time around. Yeah. Set it up for, basically a 3-tank system. Here's the breeding tank. I can kind of have 2 little lines going on there. And then when you come out of here, basically because you're starting to color up, and if you get much bigger, you're going to start eating fry, you go to one of 2 worlds. Ugh. So, yeah. You come out of here, and theoretically you should be upgrading to a bigger tank, but it's in this situation, it's actually a downgrade. You go into, hopefully, this tank. This is the tank you want to go in. It's the DE tank. I know things are kind of ugly, but, I've kind of gone away from wanting pretty tanks. Now they're just going to kind of be breeding tanks. So this is the DE tank. This is the tank you want to go in. This is the tank where, you might come out and go back over there. So, yeah. This is the desirable tank. Ideally, from here, you might be sold to a pet store, or somebody, because, got to get rid of the babies at some point. So this would be the tank that, you go in here, you grow up to be like dad there. Hopefully he's the dad to everybody. And then, as you mature and get size, then you maybe go off to a pet store or to somebody that wants guppies. Now, if you've got like a deformity or something, then you might go down there, which there's nothing in, so there ain't no point in getting down there, to the UD tank. That tank you may never come out of. Like I say, you probably have some kind of deformity. There's nothing in there but the plants. It's the UD tank. You're basically considered like a pet at that point. Just like an ugly, muttly pet. I don't like the idea of killing fish just because they've got a deformity. But, I might have to do something if that tank fills up with bad quality fish. I've got one in here right now that should technically be down there. But it might be a death sentence right now because that is the tank I nuked. I want to give it some time, some water changes, get it back to a healthy tank before putting what I believe to be her down there to live. Because she may have like a U back or a V back. But, I want to give her a chance. The idea is to have enough healthy fish that go from that tank into this tank and, off to new owners that I don't have to do anything but put, a few undesirables down there. Hopefully I can get the line healthy enough that tank doesn't really fill up. That's the idea. Because although it would be nice to, get a penny or two out of these fish, the real idea is to put a line out that is both colorful, sizable, and healthy. Those are my 3 goals. Sizable guppies, healthy guppies, colorful guppies. And I guess the order would really be healthy guppies, colorful guppies, sizable guppies. So, first health, second color, and then, maybe I can make some, not small little guppies, but big guppies. Bigger the better. Wouldn't it be something if at one point I had guppies that were noticeably bigger than the average guppy? For more color. So, that is the plan. For a demonstration, the first generation, I think it's one batch. I'd still like to think it's one batch, but who knows? There's the one with kind of a U back. It might look straight enough in the video, but I don't even know where she actually is. But she's, despite the color, she's got that U back, or V back. Like I said, I don't know how well you can see it in the video, but she doesn't look completely straight to me. Looks like she's going to have fine color. The colors that I want, but she's still kind of young, and that back just doesn't look right to me. So technically she should be down there, but not yet. I'm going to give her a fighting chance. And then the other 2 are desirable. Desirable enough. That's the U-back. That other one, I think that's a male. Although that's not the one being harassed by the mature male. That one is up here on this leaf. It doesn't look like that one's allowed off the leaf by the big male. When it goes down and swims around, it ends up getting chased. So, I wonder if either that's not a female that's coming of age, or maybe it's a male. Not sure. So those are the 3. One does not look like it'll be sold or given to anybody. One looks like it's going to become a pet. The other 2 may either be sold at some point or go back over as breeders. I'm thinking more along the lines of sold, because the size and health isn't really adding up. If it's not the same litter, that might be part of it. But if it is the same litter, the dogs or cats, yeah. If all 5 of these fish that I'm talking about right now are, in fact, from one mother, I'll put it that way, they fell behind. So they may be healthy enough, except for that one, healthy enough to be sold because they're they're straight, decent looking fish. Because not everybody can, turn into breeders. I wouldn't get anywhere. So 2 of them may prove to be sellable, 1 not. And out of the 5, I got 2 that I think are good enough for breeding. He's not the world's largest fish, but he's young. He's got the right colors so far. Even though you can't really see in the cage, I can kind of get an idea, but even for me right now, it's just like a top view. Yeah. I might put him in a cup or something at some point and actually get an idea of what he looks like. But that will be for the 2nd generation. And yeah, I like him well enough. And over here, that female, at least I think it's a female, with the black tail. That's, a 1st generation. These others, I'll use them. Like I say, I'm pretty sure that large female there is the mother of hopefully all 5. Theoretically, she seems to have a gene for that U back. But 1 out of 5, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna condemn her for that, because it looks like 1 out of 5, and well, these current pinheads ain't hers. She's still prego, it looks like. I think the ones in there right now are that one that just touched the edge there and turned around. That, I think, is the mother of the little fry I've got, so we'll see how they do. Quite a bit more. I think my highest count was 13, but I could have, counted 1 a couple of times. I'm not seeing 13 now. They've kind of quit schooling together, and they're just all over the tank now. There's about 4 up here by the cage. But they're little tiny guys. I've got no idea of anything. Some are light, some are dark. That's about it for now. Pretty sure I still got, 8 or 9. But I was getting counts of, 10, 11, sometimes 12, like I say, a couple of times 13. That's not to say 1 didn't get counted twice, a couple of times. But I took the 3 out, despite the fact that she hadn't had her babies yet, because I wondered if, maybe some had gotten eaten by the older generation. I'm finding that as they start to color up, that's a great time to get them separated. The 2 that ended up in the cages for breeding, they started coloring up seemingly early and left the other 3 behind. So now they're over there. 2 of them stand a chance of, maybe at some point coming back to replace the original stock so that we can move into the 2nd generation. The way I'm doing generations, which seems correct for me, is, with the exception of that black one in front, all these original fish would be generation 0 in my book. Okay, because they're the original stock that I bought from whatever line. And the black one there would be Generation 1. Because somebody, probably that big mama, is her mom. And, hopefully the big mature male over there is the dad. So, she's Generation 1. He's Generation 1. Along with any of these little babies. They're, that's kind of the problem with this cage, is technically the babies can swim back inside after they get out. Sometimes I find babies in this cage. I've never seen babies in this cage. So, yeah. I think once the numbers get up a little more, they probably won't bother with going back inside, but at least some of the fry, like that one there, if you can see it, seem to have realized it's safe enough to go in there and take some of his food. So they may be Generation 2. There's one, or there was one. There it is. There's a light one. Some of them might be second generation because that black female over there. At least I think it's a female. Still young. So, some of them might be I doubt it. Because I'm pretty sure I know which one is the mom of these guys. And then next will be the one that I thought would be first. Hopefully she'll be next. And it'll still be Generation 1. But as these get weeded out, then we'll go into Generation 2. And yeah. But right now, I think most of the babies are likely first generation. And I've started rambling, 5 minutes ago? So yeah, that's the idea, is you're either born in this cage, well, when I get some females in there, or you're born in this cage, and then when you start to show color, you can be down here, and when you start to show color, then you get sorted into one of the other two. And, speaking as if you're one of the fry, you go from there to one of the two, and hopefully you go into the top one where you can eventually be sold to somebody, if I can get anybody to buy fish from me. And then just keep working the process. And like I say, if you go into this one, then you may be sold, or you may end up going back over to replace older breeders. You just don't want to go down there, because ideally that will be a healthy enough tank and you can live down there, but it'll mean that you're not qualified to be sold or go back into the breeding tank, because it's only the 3 tanks, and there probably at some point males and females will be in these tanks. Babies could happen. Babies in this tank, may be sold, may become breeders, but babies in this tank, well, you got to be spectacular, because if you went into that tank, it means you got a health issue. So, even if you appear to be, straight back and no kinks or anything, and you got a straight body and you're colorful and, have some decent size, that's all great. You may be a good-looking fish, but it's likely that you've got a gene for defects. Not to say a fish can't come out of that tank. If I notice something swimming around down there that's, likely born down there, and it's truly amazing, let's say it's, I don't know, blue with red dots. I don't think that fish exists. So if it's like, a blue snakeskin, and it's like solid blue, and the snakeskin dots are red, well, that might be something to take out of there and start, a whole new line and start making that line healthy. Okay, 20 minutes, 21 minutes. I'm going to say that's long enough, and I'm rambling now. But that's the idea of my breeding project. You want to go in this tank, not that one. Till next time.